The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
Round 1. Detective skills. Batman's known as the world's greatest detective, which wasn't adapted completely in Keaton's version.
Then whole shipments of products would be poisoned, and would all be dead.
No. The poison only works when the components are mixed. Hairspray won't do it alone, but hairspray mixed with lipstick and perfume will be toxic and untraceable.
His Batman is more perceptive, capable of reading people on his own, and completing his investigations by finding flaws in his enemies.
I didn't say that.
Since Keaton's enemies were more open about their evil activities, his Batman wasn't required to rely on gadgetry to uncover clues. As far as intuition and doing background checks is considered, nothing really goes by this Batman, who was able to figure out every villain's true identity with his methods.
You ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight?
Christian Bale's Batman isn't the most insightful when it comes to understanding the bad guys. He needs Alfred's guidance to get under the skin of his enemies, which forms part of his character's arc to learn the difference between bad and true evil.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
His detective work is more technology-driven, picking apart crime scenes and pieces of evidence to track down the whereabouts of his targets.
Gonna take ballistics off a shattered bullet?
No. Fingerprints.
Bale's Batman also makes heavy use of interrogation tactics, striking fear into thugs in his capture to make them rat out information that he needs.
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
Of all the live-action Batman movies, Matt Reeves' reboot comes the closest to a classic detective story. This allows Robert Pattinson to delve deeper into Batman's crime-solving and deduction skills.
It can be cruel, poetic, or blind, but when it's denied, it's through violence you may find
Justice. The answer's justice.
Like Sherlock Holmes, he's always a step ahead of other authority figures. Of course, the Riddler is 2 steps ahead of everybody.
I've been trying to reach you.
Being younger, Pattinson's Batman is still figuring himself out and is thus susceptible to overlooking certain clues. Whenever presented with a crime scene, though, this hard-boiled detective is bound to catch details that others tend to miss.
You're part of this too. How am I part of this? You'll see.
Keaton's Batman puts less emphasis on the detective angle, and Bale's Batman relies heavily on gadgets to do the work. Pattinson is arguably the first live-action Batman who feels like equal parts vigilante and detective, giving him the edge here. Round 1 goes to the newest Batman. Keaton 0, Bale 0, Pattinson 1. Round 2. Squad. Michael Keaton's Batman was always more of a lone wolf who could trust no one apart from Alfred.
But let's not forget about repairing the Batmobile. There's security to consider. It's not as though we can take it to any old Joe's body shop, is it, sir?
Security? Who let Vicky Vale into the Batcave?
Although he has an alliance with James Gordon, their relationship is never close enough for Batman to implicitly trust Gordon with his secrets.
Thanks for saving the day, Batman. I'm afraid the circus gang is back.
We'll see.
Keaton's Batman doesn't get around to meeting any version of Robin, and Catwoman, his closest superhero ally, is more of a femme fatale than a true companion.
Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it.
But a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it.
Keaton's Batman mastered the superhero's isolation so well that he never got around to truly having a squad around him. Christian Bale's Batman realizes that being a symbol can only get him so far. He needs people he can trust.
Why do we force? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
His relationship with Alfred goes deeper than a father-son dynamic would, with Alfred providing much-needed guidance and insight. Lucius Fox provides him with intel and gadgets which are instrumental in overcoming Gotham's criminals and even the authorities.
Hardened Kevlar plates over titanium-dipped tri-weave fibers for flexibility. It'll be lighter, faster, more agile. Perhaps you should read the instructions first.
His partnership with Jim Gordon proves that vigilantism can work with a helping hand in the justice system. Batman's influence is established when John Blake becomes his protege, leading the public in Batman's name and becoming his successor. In The Batman, GCPD is overrun with corruption, and even the honest cops have reservations about vigilantes. Gordon is the only Gotham cop that Pattinson's Batman wholeheartedly trusts. Their partnership is a two-way street, as Gordon shares evidence without batting an eye.
Any of this mean anything to you?
Alfred is grittier than some past portrayals, but he still has a strong sense of class and shares Bruce's knack for puzzle solving.
The killer left this for the Batman. Why is he writing to you?
While both seek vengeance, Catwoman is more open to getting blood on her claws than Batman. This gives their dynamic a wild card factor, possessing echoes of a spy thriller.
The bat and the cat. It's got a nice ring.
New friend of yours? I'm not so sure.
Keaton's squad is limited and Pattinson is still assembling his. Bale's Batman is perhaps the most reliant on his allies, who all bring something to the table. This round goes to Bale.
I never said thank you.
And you'll never have to.
Keaton 0, Bale 1, Pattinson 1. Round 3, Batmobile and Batsuit.
Get the car.
It's hard to go wrong when the Batmobile looks so accurate to the source material, and Keaton's Batmobile is a thing of beauty. It has a gothic aesthetic that evokes the mysteriousness of Batman's persona and brings an intimidating presence as well. The Batmobile doesn't have too many gadgets, but it can be operated remotely, making it loyal to Batman's demands as his armor on wheels.
Stop.
Capable of shifting shapes to accommodate passageways that would otherwise be impossible to maneuver, Keaton's Batmobile could turn into a Bat missile to guarantee speedy retreats. Christian Bale's Batmobile goes for a realistic approach, in that it's created to maul things out of Batman's way, rather than function as a true vehicle.
He is in a vehicle.
Make and color?
It's a black tank.
The Tumbler, as it's called, is essentially a mini tank, equipped with things like rocket launchers, machine guns, and mines. While it's a beast in its own right, the Batmobile doesn't align with Batman's attitude of staying in the shadows. Still, there's no doubt that it captures the attention and leaves no doubt of Batman's arsenal of weaponry. Unlike Keaton or Bale, Pattinson is rarely seen out of his batsuit.
Who are you under there? What are you hiding?
Pattinson's Batman feels more comfortable dressed as a bat than in a tuxedo. However, he hasn't quite gotten the hang of flying. While advanced, his batsuit almost has a homemade quality that comes off as more grounded. The same goes for his Batmobile, which Reeves described as a muscle car with parts taken from other automobiles. This Batmobile looks like something that a grease monkey might assemble in their garage, yet it still possesses a mysterious, powerful allure that screams, "I'm Batman."
I got you! I got you!
While Bale and Pattinson's goodies are more realistic, Keaton's has a classic aesthetic that can't be topped. Whenever we see his Batsuit and Batmobile, we say, "Yeah, that's Batman!" Winner, Keaton.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Keaton 1, Bale 1, Pattinson 1. Round 4, Character Development. Michael Keaton's Batman is the classic Bruce Wayne, capturing the character's silent demeanor, low raspy voice, and the seething glare Bruce carries in his eyes.
Excuse me. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
His version starts out not wanting anything to do with the outside world before realizing that creating meaningful relationships can remove the darkness that's captured his soul since his parents' demise.
We're the same. Split. Right down the center.
His relationship with Catwoman serves as Batman's leap towards showing his vulnerability, although this goes unresolved in the end. Keaton's Batman overcomes his childhood trauma to an extent to become the Caped Crusader out of responsibility instead of anger, as he originally started out.
Call me.
Question. How do we call?
He gave us a signal.
Christian Bale's Batman arc surrounds the idea of Bruce Wayne being the mask and Batman the real identity.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
His Bruce Wayne is a little uneven, sometimes being a bit more on the joking side, which clashes with his deep sense of isolation and conflict with the world's morality. Still, Bale has an original take where he genuinely understands that Batman is an instrument for change and that he needs to influence the people to fight corruption.
As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible.
He goes from an angry young man, initially willing to kill, into a person who's truly incorruptible and never crosses moral boundaries. Bale's version learns to live for himself by the end of his arc, signifying that he's achieved the peace that seemed elusive since he witnessed his parents' deaths.
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
The Batman doesn't dwell on the origin story we already know.
You really could be doing more for this city. Your family has a history of philanthropy, but as far as I can tell, you're not doing anything.
When Pattinson's Batman sees a little boy who's lost his father, you know exactly what he's thinking based on a remorseful glance. We don't get to spend that much time with Bruce Wayne, which demonstrates just how isolated Pattinson's Batman is. Although a skilled detective and warrior, he still has a lot to learn about himself. He's Gotham's sworn protector, but can be reckless with his own well-being.
You're part of this too.
Hands up! Stay still!
How am I part of this? Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were. Bruce Wayne.
While his arc isn't complete yet, Pattinson's Batman takes significant steps towards letting others in and figuring out what kind of example he wants to set for Gotham.
I don't care what happens to me.
It's only gonna get worse for you.
Keaton's time as Batman was cut short, although he may continue his story in satisfying ways with The Flash. Pattinson is off to a great start, but we've yet to fully explore his Dark Knight. Bale benefits from having 3 movies under his belt, with each taking Batman to different places. Bale's Batman thus feels the most developed, at least for now. Point Bale.
A hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat around a young boy's shoulders.
Keaton 1, Bale 2, Pattinson 1. Round 5, Best Debut. Michael Keaton's Batman set the standard for superhero movies with thematic qualities like diving into the protagonist's inner darkness, along with creating Gotham City with a distinct set design.
Gotham City always brings a smile to my face.
Keaton's debut brings in Batman's biggest foe, the Joker, whom the Caped Crusader has to defeat, but has the side effect of focusing more on the villain rather than its hero's full backstory.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What? I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it.
Keaton's second movie is largely considered superior to the first since it adds in more layers to his character, while the original is best remembered for establishing Batman's role as Gotham's protector. Christopher Nolan revamped the Batman franchise by making the fear factor of the title character the main selling point.
Where are you?
Bale's debut story is about Bruce Wayne weeding out corruption in Gotham City after becoming Batman, fighting off the threats posed by Scarecrow and his former mentor, Ra's al Ghul.
You finally learned to do what is necessary. I won't kill you. But I don't have to save you.
Batman Begins takes a serious and mature course that shows what a nightmare Batman can be for the bad guys, along with being Bruce's coming-of-age story. Still, it tends to go under the radar because of the massive cultural impact set by its sequel, The Dark Knight.
There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
Reeves's The Batman exists somewhere between Nolan's realism and Burton's surrealism, while still having a unique identity.
Fear is a tool. But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning.
Given the detective emphasis, this Batman shares the most in common with a film noir, right down to Batman's dramatic narration. It even has the ingredients of a psychological crime thriller, calling Seven and Zodiac to mind.
What's black and blue and dead all over?
Pattinson's age also provides a younger perspective as we see a more inexperienced Batman come into his own. Time will only tell if the film changes cinema like its predecessors did, but Reeves proves that there are many more Batman stories worth telling. The impact of Burton's Batman and Batman Begins can still be felt today, even in The Batman. Where Burton paved the way for darker superhero movies, Nolan made the genre more sophisticated and grounded. Nolan took this a step further with his next Batman film, but we wouldn't have gotten there without Bale's debut. This round belongs to Bale, who takes the whole Batnanza.
What the hell are you?
I'm Batman.
Keaton 1, Bale 3, Pattinson 1. Winner, Christian Bale. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.